Vincenzo'S Go Crypto Investing, and we're going to do this nightly update and start it off because I keep forgetting to do it. AGIX. We're going to pull this out first so I do not forget to do it. Oh, see, I remember you brought this coin up a long time ago, and it was in this huge falling channel. Let's start out on the weekly time frame. Yeah, look at that. We even had the volume indicator last time I looked at this, and we had a 0.033, a little about 3 1/3 cent, and you can see it was probably down here the last time we talked by the bottom of the channel. Now it's come up to the top, and now the critical thing again is it, like all of these in the past where it got rejected, trying to break out of this, right? So let's try to give ourselves some indicators or some pointers that could help us out here and make a little what might go on. You can see we're above a critical area right here. The mean in this whole history of this brief history of the coin, you can see the mean is right here. We'll make this easier to see. You can see that. That's the mean of the coin. And it's above it, right? Because this red stick there is actually the 0.045, the 4.5 cent level is the level you need to be above the most traded area in this range. And the whole history of the coin is right there. And you could look at this volume indicator. If it could confirm a breakout out of this, you have very little resistance anywhere in here. See that? You got big candle up here, right? See that? We need to get that out of there. It's not in the right spot. You actually got majorly decreasing volume from the mean, or the mean of the most volume in the history of the coin here. Then you come up to here, the top of the candle, and you go to the next one and look how much it declines in volume, right? So it's a lot less resistance in the way. There's a lot less ammo in the way, but most of it is selling in there. So that would be acting as sell pressure. But look at that. It drops down drastically almost to nothing up into here. So if you confirm above here, you theoretically can run all the way back up into this where a next big cluster starts of major volume traded. You can see all the volume traded right there, right? So that's how I would be looking at this. And this is a critical area if I was to mark, not only to remain bullish as long as you're above. Let's mark this with our beautiful price note. We'll mark it over here so it's not in the way. As long as you're above the 4.5 cent level, you're bullish because you're above the mean of the volume. And anytime you're above the mean of the volume, that is bullish, right? So that's bullish, number one. And then to try to get past the last resistance that there is, we'll bring out a little line, bam. Right there is your top part of this major sell pressure that seems to not want to knock the coin down, right? Or you would think it would want to knock the coin down. And if it can get above that, you have very little resistance anywhere in there, right? Very little resistance. And if you can get above this 0.0587, hold it as support and start to trade up, that's very bullish. And you would think you would start to run maybe up into this 50-day moving average that's just starting to have enough time in the weekly time frame on this very new coin. You would think on something like that, this would be an obvious area to come back up to. And if you look at the volume, look at all the trading that's happened up here, right? There was a lot of traders in there, and they would be chomping at the bit to either sell. New buyers would be stacked there to want to buy, right? The price would get, if you break above this, it'll be like a magnet up into there, right? Because there's a lot of trading that happened up there. So that's what I'd be looking at right now. Stay above this 0.046, which is the mean of the volume, which you are right now. If we zoom in closer, and then we got to move on to a different coin, you can see you're above that 0.45 by a good margin. You're up into the 5.5 cent range, so you're up on it by a penny. But you can see, even not even zooming into this, look at that. Look how beautiful the top part of the 0.058 that you need to get above to get into the less traded volume. Look at that. It came and hit it once, came back down, came and hit it again, came back down. Now, looking at it closer in the hour time frame, to me, the short-term technical analysis on this is I think you're going to have to come back down to the 200-day and or what's that line right there? Shit. Is that just me drawing, or is that a line? No, that's a line. That's the falling channel, I believe. And if that is the falling channel from the weekly time frame, to me, this looks like you're going to probably have to come down and retest that. Because anytime you get something like that and then another little top, unless you get a big volume spike and you blow by it, I think in the short term, you're coming down to the 200-day to retest. And then you got to see what's going to go on, if it can hold it to remain bullish or if it's going to get bearish and break back down into that falling channel. That yeah, that's the top of the falling channel. You can see it held the 200-day after the first rejection, came down, which is normal and healthy, came to the 200-day and back test, nearly back tested the newly made lower support, bounced back up to this major upper resistance and got rejected again, right? So you would look, I think, to come back down, retest this, maybe ride this, and then if it gets enough momentum, then it can try to break this, right? Or if it pops up in a power move and starts holding it, and the buyers hold it above here, that would be bullish too, right? So that's what we're looking at, but I think it's going to come down to the 200-day in the short term. Then we'll look at the Bitcoin price, because the Bitcoin price has recently had a lot of action going on. You can see the Bitcoin price today held it on the top, the new support on the top part of this bear flag, right? It's trying to break out of the bear flag. It's been holding topside for a few days now. If we zoom out a little bit, since it broke north of it, no matter where I put this, it's in the way, the 27th of July, right? Since it's broke above that, it's been holding it as support, and it's only had brief little dips below it, but it's always bounced right back up. And then every time it gets up into this major sell area, it comes back down to it. So right now, this looks like it could be maybe some kind of M pattern that it's got to come down at least to retest this 23,190 off of the CPI news, where the crypto markets and the stock markets had a really, really good day. And the stock markets had a couple of good weeks in a row, and the crypto markets have slowly but surely had good weeks after good week after good week off its 17,800-ish low, wherever that bottomed out at. So in the short term for Bitcoin, I would watch out to see if it comes back down, back test it again. If it holds it, it can shoot up, and then it should have enough energy to break to get up to these upper targets at $26,000 that we have up there that I moved out of the way to take pictures and post it on Twitter. And if it doesn't do that and it fails to hold it, it would do something like this, or it would trade back down into this bear flag, right? But if we zoom out to the 4-hourly, you can see we have this up there, anywhere between there and this old major consolidation in the last bear flag. If you did break up in some kind of power move, this would be where you would look for heavy sell pressure, because that's a lot of trading that took place in here. That was a nice from May to about a month and a half of a consolidation after a dump where a lot of trading took place. And that's why that white support zone's up there. You would think that if this did have a power move, 29,000 would probably top this out, and then it would dump, right? And that would be a classic hook no Jew bearish reversal pattern, right? So that's what we're looking out for on anything to the upside. And if it can't hold as it's been in the 4-hourly for since July 17th, so a good month now, it's been holding the 200-day in the 4-hour time frame. If you do fail the 200-day in the 4-hour or the daily, you would come back down here towards lower support, right? On the uptrending support where it's hit once, twice, 3 times. So that's what's going on in Bitcoin. If we take a